Dear judges and debaters, today we, the affirmative team, are standing here to agree with the motion that this House regrets the idolization of individuals who do not follow traditional education paths like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett. So before getting on to our team's first argument, I would like to go into the context. Nowadays, an increasing number of individuals are idolizing the individuals that do not follow traditional educational path. We regret it, and why we're gonna evaluate below. So let's define the motion. Idolization is to admire and look up to an individual. The traditional education path are the traditional of studying, go to school and finish grade and follow the educational program. Coming to policies, we regret the idolization of individuals who do not follow traditional paths like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. Therefore, to make students stick to the educational paths and give a higher chance of success to the students that have completed the traditional courses, we will make the course go through strict quality tests conducted by educational experts to ensure that they can equip students with firstly applicable and necessary knowledge, and secondly, practical important and significant life skills. Furthermore, to ensure the course is fulfilled and not skipped, we will also have tests. Firstly, normal knowledge tests. Secondly, skills that which the practical skills integrated in the course. And finally, we will also have frequent surveys that ask the student the content of the educational at that time, as well as asking about the opinion about the quality of the course and the teachers, hence making the necessary adjustment the factors need. In our word, we will protect the student. They do not idolize the individuals that do not follow traditional education path, hence ensuring they fulfill traditional education, increasing the ordinary chance of success from hard work in education. Also, we will protect the teachers. If there is too many young individuals who idolize these individuals and skip out the traditional education path, those who are most deadly impacted first will be the teachers. Due to the rapid decrease of students, teachers have a great chance of losing their jobs, impacting their life negatively and significantly. What's more, the number of teachers is numerous, which means the impact multiplies and can significantly affect the society. The education field in general. The number of students that come to school and follow traditional education path will be kept normal, while firstly the loss of teachers and educational jobs leading to the failure of this field, and also the society with enormous crashing. With the economy crashing, the jobs disappear, the number of successful individuals become less, the society will be significantly harmed. Therefore, for the sake of the stakeholder we mentioned above, we regret the idolization of individuals that do not follow the traditional education path. Also, we are going to prove that the regret that we are protecting will be beneficial and better than your word. Coming to our first argument, we, the affirmative team, request lots of young individuals to idolize these individuals and follow the educational path professors at the risk of not becoming successful. Not all people who doesn't follow the traditional education path are successful. There is only a little chance they will succeed. Also, the risk of the students who don't follow the traditional path is high, while the chance of success is low. Also, when the people who don't follow the traditional path but success need important skills. For example, they need to decide exactly on what they want to become. Like Mark Zuckerberg decided to quit school to develop on only Facebook. But the young people who decided to do like the adults, they might not have chose exactly what they want, or they might chose a different path when they started to follow this. So this is very risky. People who chose this path have decided that they need to follow this path, and this is bad for them, and they should not do it on a whim. Young people can see that their idols do this and follow them without knowing that if they need it or not, or doing it on a whim because their idol did. So without idolizing these individuals, the young people might not do this thing, and the chance that their success will be higher due to the fulfillment of the traditional education path, leading to the unnecessary accumulation of knowledge and skills. This will, if everyone neglects following the traditional education path, they will miss out important skills and knowledge to prepare for their future careers. This keeps happening, and then soon these once so-called tradition will be faded, with nobody even bothering to study high school, universities, and more. This will process the risk that the education system will be broken, leading to an unbalanced society where people who doesn't have the need to study or work, because everyone is the same, they won't gain skills and knowledge as they don't attend school. So also this idolization will create a misleading narrative that the success is achievable without normal education. This will why is so important. Many people that are in university will continue their education path and do not drop out because these people are idolized. So not many people will notice them and follow their path just because they see those people and do it and gain success, so they will follow them, they will be successful too. The society will have lots of people who follow the traditional education path that their chance of success are higher, and the traditional won't be faded or broken. For example, a person who is studying in the best schools like Harvard, and there are two scenarios. Firstly, we idolize the people who doesn't follow the traditional path in your world, and they decided to follow the footsteps of those people, and turn out he wasn't suited for it. Now he can turn back to redo, then his chance of succeeding was zero. And the second scenario, in our world, that we doesn't idolize the people, and so the person who doesn't know about those people, and so they would follow the traditional education path and stick to the education which provide them with many necessary skills and knowledge, so the chance of succeeding will be higher. So for this reason, we, the affirmative team, would agree with the motion that this helps regret the idolization of individuals who do not follow traditional education paths, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and more, because we think their success is more higher. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we live in a world where people who become successful without traditional education are both admired and questioned. On the other hand, they show the power of creativity, hard work, and learning in different ways, encouraging others to think outside the box. These individuals prove that success can come from real-life experiences, quick thinking, and determination. Recognizing their achievements while still valuing formal education is important to create realistic and balanced dreams for the future. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sherlyn, and today my team and I strongly disagree with today's motion that we regret the idolization of individuals who do not follow traditional education paths like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and etc. So first of all, what does idolization and traditional education paths mean? Traditional education is a planned and organized way of learning that happens in schools, colleges, and universities. It includes set lessons, studying in classrooms, taking motions. So the stakeholders are students and young people because they are influenced by societal views on education and success, shaping their careers decisions, and whether they see formal schooling as an essential to success, provides important knowledge, skills, and career stability that should not be disregarded. And what opposition needs to prove is that celebrating these figures encourages innovation, risk-taking, and self-learning. Why does structured schooling not suit everyone, and how alternative learning paths can lead to success? And that education does not guarantee success, and that individual skills, creativity, and opportunities also play a major role. So now moving on to my points. Success shows that there is no single way to achieve greatness. Formal education provides lessons and certificates, but it does not always guarantee success. Many business leaders, inventors, and artists have built strong careers by using their skills, experiences, and ability to adapt instead of relying on degrees. These successful people prove that hard work, problem problem solving, and making connections are very important. For example, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs followed their passion for technology and created life-changing products without finishing college. Their stories encourage people to learn in different ways, such as teaching themselves, finding mentors, and gaining real-world experience, which can be just as useful as formal schooling. By idolizing these individuals, it can also help those who struggle in school. Some people have trouble, cannot afford college because it is too expensive, or they have learning difficulties like dyslexia or personal challenges. Seeing examples of people who succeed without following the usual school system gives them hope that they can find success in their own way. A great example of someone who succeeded without traditional education is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs dropped out of Reed College just after 6 months because he felt that formal education was not helping him explore his interests. Instead, he focused on learning in his own way, attending calligraphy classes, experimenting with technology, and working on creative projects. His passion for innovation led him to co-fund Apple, which revolutionized the tech industry with products like iPhone and the iPad, things that we now can't imagine living without. Steve Jobs' success proves that structured education is not the only path to achievement and that school is not everything. He relied on self-learning, creativity, and hands-on experience, showing that people can build careers through unconventional routes. Because to succeed in life, you don't need to only be good in grades, but you also have to have people skills, adaptability skills, creativity. You also need to be able to think outside of the box. While school may be good for making you better at getting knowledge, more information, but school makes you only think in one way. So now moving on to my rebuttals. The first speaker of the government team said that while college can provide valuable knowledge and career opportunity, said that traditional education is more likely to lead you to success. While college can provide valuable knowledge and career opportunities, success is not guaranteed by having a degree alone. Many successful individuals have built careers based on skill, experience, and networking rather than formal education. One key issue with this argument is that success depends on many factors beyond a degree, including creativity, adaptability, and personal ambition. Some of the most influential business leaders, such as Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, thrive because of their vision and innovative thinking, not because of their formal education. Idolizing successful dropouts highlights alternative paths to success rather than undermining education. These individuals still value learning and growth, showing that education extends beyond formal schooling. Their stories inspire ambition and adaptability, encouraging people to think critically while recognizing the challenges of unconventional routes. Instead of discouraging education, their stories inspire ambition and adaptability. People understand that unconventional routes come with challenges, so this admiration encourages critical thinking rather than unrealistic expectations. So this is why my team and I strongly disagree with today's debate.
Alright, thank you. Alright, so thank you the first speaker of the negative team and team here.
Okay, so I'm the second speaker of the affirmative team, and I'm here to debate about the motion. This House regrets the idolization of individuals who do not follow a traditional education paths, like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Warren Buffett. So before coming to my argument, I have some rebuttals for the negative team. So first, you said that the balance of respecting the creativity and importance of learning in lots of ways of these individuals and formal education will create a balanced stream for students. However, you should look at the definition of idolization. This word originally has the meaning of idolizing some individual, which can also result in the following of these paths, which will also do not fit for every individual. So, what's the difference? Also, it said that many successful people do not follow formal educational paths, proving the educational formal paths are not everything, and that the learning in unconventional ways will help with success too. However, the success of these individuals are because of their extended experience, ambitions, and self-education. Following a formal education path doesn't mean you are trapped in not being able to have the things above, meaning that combining formal education with the factors set above, our individuals will have better chances of success. Furthermore, our educational paths are very strictly ensured to equip students with not only knowledge but also practical skills, hence ensuring a better chance of our students having more chance of becoming successful. Right, so coming to my argument, my point is that we, the affirmative team, believes that if a mass of individuals, start stepping out of the traditional education paths, then teachers, tutors, and maybe even school bus drivers or cafeteria workers will lose their jobs, leading to an unbalanced society. Firstly, since fewer individuals feel and recognize the need to study because they believe that success is achievable without formal education, there will be less schools available. This creates a society where there are less teachers, less tutors, or even librarians to educate students, which can create an unbalanced, deluded, and even awful society. Secondly, this can create a misleading narrative that traditional educational paths and educators, teachers, students are not necessary for success. This can also cause the educational field to crash due to the disrespect of their role and importance in society, creating a likely economic crisis, mass loss of jobs, and rapid negative changes to the life of educators. So, if students increasingly abandon traditional education due to this idolization, schools will experience sharp declines in enrollment. With few students attending schools may be forced to downsize or shut down entirely. This can cause massive unemployment among people who do not earn for their livelihood. In addition, without teachers, the next generation will lack proper guidance, critical thinking skills, and a lot more. In the long term, the society can become unbalanced when fewer skilled workers, more information, more misinformation, and a weaker economy driven by an uneducated workforce. In many countries, the education sector is one of the largest. So, if the mass dropout trends continue, the entire community could lose their main source of stable income. This won't just affect individual families, it can also create a ripple effect that destabilizes this local economy. Uh, uh, Destabilize the local economy, increases poverty, and places additional pressure on government systems. So imagine a public high school that used to have 1,000 students now has only 300. The school can't afford to pay all the staff, so it lets go of about 20 teachers. Some math and science classes are combined or canceled altogether. Now the city not only loses quality education, but uh, but also loses economic stability. Some teachers have to move to bigger cities to find jobs. The younger students who still want to remain in school receive a poor education because there are fewer teachers and lower quality teaching resources. This whole cycle makes it hard for future generations to succeed or break out of the poverty cycle, especially those from poor families. Also, you said that Steve Jobs succeeded by quitting school due to the absence of his interest in the course learned, proving the need of other different ways of learning. Although we agree with the unpracticality of the educational courses nowadays, in our world, we have clearly proposed our policies of ensuring a fulfilling educational system that will prevent this problem. Therefore, in our world, we believe that students still should follow the educational system. Thank you.
Oh, and please turn on your camera.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to explain why we should not regret admiring people who became successful without finishing traditional education. People like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Jobs are often looked up to, and for good reasons. Their stories are not just about dropping out of school. They are about thinking differently, working hard, and making a big impact on the world. First, let me start with my rebuttals. The opposing team's first speaker said that students dropping out of schools causes school staff or workers to lose their jobs, which leads to an unbalanced society. This is false, as the number of students who drop out of school just because they admire someone like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs is very small. Most people understand that these are rare cases, and they still choose to complete their education. The education system is not losing large numbers of students because of this admiration. Schools do not shut down or fire staff just because a few students leave. School staff, including teachers and other workers, are employed by governments or private systems that serve large communities. One or two dropouts from a class do not put their jobs at risk. There are always new students entering the system every year. Schools do not shut down or fire staff just because a few Admiring successful people who didn't finish school doesn't mean fewer people will get an education. It simply shows that learning can happen in different ways, like self-study, training, or real-world experience. School is still important for many jobs, but success is not only about getting a degree. It also depends on skills, hard work, and opportunities. We already idolize people who are successful, but you don't see people dropping out of school like almost every day because they are inspired by these people, and it tells people there are many ways to become successful. Now, for my points. Famous people show us that success can come in different ways. We often hear that the only way to succeed is by finishing school, going to university, and getting a degree. But that's not the only path. Some people learn better by doing things outside the classroom. Some people have ideas they want to build right away. The people we admire didn't just skip school for fun. They left because they had a vision and they worked very hard to make it real. By admiring them, we are simply recognizing that success does not always follow one's path. These people help push the world forward. Many of them created new technology, new businesses, or new ways of thinking. They didn't wait for permission. They took action. If everyone waited until they had a perfect education, many of the things we use today, like computers, phones, or even the internet, might not exist in the way they do now. These individuals show us the power of innovation and bold thinking. As my teammate said, these successful people still value learning. Just because they didn't finish university doesn't mean that they stopped learning. In fact, most of them are lifelong learners. Bill Gates is known for reading dozens of books every year. Steve Jobs studied calligraphy after dropping out, which helped shape Apple's beautiful design. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science. These are not people who gave up on knowledge. They just found different ways to grow. In conclusion, we should not regret admiring people who didn't finish traditional education. Their stories are special and they give hope, inspiration, and new ideas to the world. Success doesn't only come from a degree. It can also come from passion, creativity, and hard work. Thank you.
Alright, so my speech will start again in 3, 2, 1. Uh, Hello everyone, hello judges, and hello to all the spectators. I'm the third speaker of the affirmative team, and I stand here to support the motion. This House regrets the idolization of individuals who do not follow traditional education paths like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Warren Buffett, and more. Before coming to my summarization and my clashes of my speech, I firstly have some rebuttals for your team, as well as repeating the rebuttals that my team has proposed. Okay, thirdly, your team said that the balance of respecting the creativity and importance in learning in a lot of ways of these individuals and formal education will create a balanced dream for students. However, you should look at the definition of idolization. This word originally has the meaning of idolizing a certain individual, which can also result in the following of this past, which will also do not fit for every individual like the course system. Thus, what's the difference? He has also tried to revert back that the number of students dropping out is small due to their understanding of their risks, in which case we also need to repeat the definition of idolization comparing to respect. Okay, secondly, you say that many successful people do not follow formal education paths, proving that education formal paths are not everything, and that the learning in unconventional ways will help them with the success matter. However, the success of these individuals are because of the extent experience, ambitions, and self-education, as well as passion, creativity, and hard work. And they are hardworking. However, following a formal education path doesn't mean you're trapped and do not be able to do the things above, which means combining formal education with the factors said above, our individuals have better chance of success. Furthermore, our education paths are strictly ensured to equip students with not only knowledge like you proposed the picture of our team, but also to equip them with practical skills, ensuring better chance of our students having the factors you said above, resulting in better chance of success. Thirdly, you said that Steve Jobs succeeded by quitting school due to the absence of his interest in the course learned, proving the need of the way of learning. Also, I agree the unpracticality of educational courses nowadays. In our work, we have clearly proposed our policies of ensuring a fulfilling course and prevention of skip course that prevent this problem. Therefore, in our work, we believe that the students that stick to the traditional education class will have their interests satisfied, as well as having better chance of success. My fourth rebuttal, you say you have also proposed many examples of successful individuals who don't follow formal educational paths. However, are you sure that every individual can be able to do that what they have done? This proves the unpracticality of these examples when applied to a wider scale. You also said about these people still respecting education. Did we say that these individuals really disrespect education? Not a word in our speech did we propose that education is limited to these traditional paths. We just want students to finish them, which equip them with the basics, and the course, we believe that with the practical skills part, it will also encourage students to continue their self-education, their hard workingness, and the other factors that contribute to a success apart from education. Alright, so now will be the summarization of my team's points. Firstly, the first speaker of our team said that she regrets lots of young individuals to idolize these individuals and follow their path because students that don't follow traditional education path possesses a risk of not becoming successful. When the cause of these unconventional ways of succeeding do not fitting and what will the effect of creating a misleading narrative that success is achievable with a formal education. When applied to a wide scale, its significance will be that if we regret this, many people in university will continue education and do not drop out because of the prevention of the idolization of these individuals. We also have a very good example. Okay, next, the second speaker point is that she believes that if a mass of young individuals starts dropping out of traditional education paths, the teachers, tutors, and maybe even school bus drivers and cafeteria workers will lose their jobs, leading to an unbalanced society. With the cause of since fewer individuals will start to feel and recognize the need to study. Therefore, this will lead to the increased burden of traditional education due to this idolization, which will result in school experiencing sharp declines in enrollment. Okay, so coming to my questions. Firstly, is about the young individual's success. In your word, you cannot ensure that 100% of people who don't follow traditional educational paths are doing this just because it's best for them. Are they just doing this due to the fact that they see the others become successful with the hope that they will also succeed? What's more, not every individual is actually fit for the non-traditional and unconventional paths. Therefore, the idolization in your work can potentially lead to harmful effects for these individuals. In our world, however, young people have a higher chance of success because they follow the traditional path, which we have strictly tested and designed to ensure the fulfillment of both knowledge and practical skills. What more, this fulfillment of practical skills will also encourage students to continue self-education, passion, and hard working, which contributes to success beyond education. So in their mind, there's only one way to success: to follow the traditional path and then continue. Overall, this would benefit the schools, teachers, and students, like my teammates has explained above, as well as the society, the economy, and many other stakeholders that we have proposed. And secondly, will be about teachers, tutors, and maybe even school bus drivers and cafeteria workers. In your word, they have a high chance of losing their jobs, leading to an unbalanced society, and there's also fewer individuals feel and recognize the need to study because they believe that success is achievable with a formal education. There'll be less schools available, less jobs available, and there'll be a negative and significant impact as it multiplies on every of the individuals who is in the education field. And in our work, they can be provided many job opportunities. They can live their life normally as their life can be better as it depends on the job. And thirdly, about equal opportunities. In your lastly, we about society. In our work, there'll be no crash in economy, no loss in jobs, nothing. So now, thank you for listening.
Affirmative team, here.
Hello, my name is Hao Yan. I am the third speaker of the opposition team or the opposition whip, and I will summarize my team and the government team's points. The motion is that we regret the idolization of individuals who do not follow traditional education paths. For example, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, etc. This means that the government team regrets the event in which someone does not learn school the normal way, becomes famous, rich, and becoming an idol to people. My team and I strongly agree with this motion. The stakeholders on our team, as set by the Prime Ministers, are the students and young people, as they will be influenced by the individuals who didn't follow traditional education paths and will set their goals and try to be like them. However, the government team stakeholders are only parents, as they want their children to have choice and they want them to learn the conventional way. Our stakeholders are safer because they have choice and can try to become their idols. Moving on to my points and rebuttals, the Prime Minister said that this will impact teachers as they lose their job due to a low salary and a low number of students to teach. However, this isn't true, as most people will still go to school and only some people won't. Students will still go to school as they still want to go because of their friends and because most of them can't learn on their own. She also said that there is a low chance of success when you don't follow the traditional learning method. Although this might be true, as Mark Zuckerberg said, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. Even though there is a risk, it doesn't depend on not going to school. It depends on if the person makes the right decision or not. Taking risks might be dangerous, but it will be worth it. Tons of people who haven't went to school have become rich. The leader of opposition stated that although the majority of people do well in the normal education system, not everyone does. And idolizing people who didn't go to school lets students know that you don't just need school to be successful. Imagine being forced to go to school and not learning everything because it's hard to focus, or you have dyslexia or ADHD, or you have social anxiety. You wouldn't be comfortable and it would probably be difficult for you to learn. If you could learn the way that makes you comfortable, able to thrive and learn more, possibly even getting ahead with an IQ more than an average adult. You'd be able to make your parents impressed and make them happy and become famous. The Deputy Prime Minister said that the success of those individuals who succeeded without going to school only succeeded because they had extended experience. However, everyone has a hobby or something that they're really good at, like making music or making advanced tech or drawing. Schools don't specialize in those things. If you went to school, the teachers would just force you to learn in class and wouldn't be able to care less about your interests. He also said that teachers, tutors, and all of the people who learn will lose their jobs. However, number one, tutors don't teach students the conventional way and don't teach as a teacher at school. And number two, teachers could become a tutor or pursue their dreams. Finally, he said that the economy would be quite low as there would be tons of uneducated people. This wouldn't happen and the opposite would actually happen. As most people have different dreams, each sector would have a strong economy as those people would be really good at those sectors and there'd be a strong workforce and not in just one sector but basically all of them. The deputy leader of opposition stated that those individuals show that you don't need to follow the conventional way of learning and that you can be successful even though you're different. She also said that most people think that you can only succeed by finishing school, going to university and getting a degree, which is basically the conventional way, and some people learn better by doing things at home. This is true. Look at Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Elon Musk or even Steve Jobs. They're all pioneers and shaped today's technology even though they didn't go to school. Bill Gates founded Microsoft and made Windows, which is now the most popular operating system. Mark Zuckerberg founded Facebook and is now one of the famous social media websites. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science and founded PayPal, founded Tesla, and made it one of the most well-known electric car companies in the world, and founded SpaceX, and successfully achieved the first booster recovery without any engine failures. Steve Jobs founded Apple and invented the iPhone and the iPad and the MacBook, which revolutionized the entire technology industry. All of them did not go to school. You don't have to go go to school to be famous. You could, for example, read textbooks at home and do tons of workbooks, or do advanced math questions which is beyond your age, and be smarter than the average human who is that age. The government whip said that not 100% of the people who do this are doing it for the sake of wanting to succeed. However, they are, and they do it so they can be better at what they're best at. The only exception is the people who don't have enough money, as they definitely can't afford to go to school. He also said that people who learn the conventional way would be able to live normally. However, you can't always follow everyone else. You always have to be slightly different, or else you probably won't have a life and you'd be a normal person. And in summarization, my team and I strongly disagree with the motion, which is that we regret the idolization of individuals who do not follow a traditional education path, for example, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, etc., because it will inspire students and allow people to learn the way they feel comfortable with, and giving them an option to choose if they want to go to school or not. Thank you.
Everybody, I'm the first speaker of the negative team, and today I will be summarizing my team's points. So, first speaker. So what I said was that successful people prove that hard work, problem solving, and making connections are important, and that we should take risks in life. The second speaker of the negative team said that famous people show us that success can come in different ways. And we often hear that the only way to succeed is by finishing school or going to university and getting a degree. But that is not the only path. And that we should recognize that success does not always follow one single path, and that these people help push the world forward because many of them created new technology. And the third speaker summarized our points and rebutted the other team. And thank you.
Okay.
Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Warren Buffett. So, in your world, the students who still want to follow the traditional education path and remain in school receive a poorer education because there are fewer teachers and lower quality teaching resources. This will create a cycle that makes it hard for future generations to succeed, especially those from poor families who want to break out of poverty. But in our world, we will protect the value of traditional education by discouraging this idolization. We make sure schools remain respected and well funded so teachers keep their jobs, students get proper learning environments, and society invests in equal access to education. This helps students from all backgrounds, especially those from underprivileged families, gaining skills, knowledge, and opportunities to build a better future. In our world, success is not based on luck or privilege, but by learning, effort, and support. Also, you said that teachers are losing their jobs due to their low salary, but this is a complete wrong accusation. Also, you said that taking risks is worth it, but what if it fails? Is it worth it? So why consider just an insignificant chance to take the risk? Also, you claim that the balance of respecting the creativity and importance of learning in a long ways of these individuals and formal education will create a balanced dream for students. However, you should look back at the definition of idolization. You said that there are many examples about successful individuals. However, these examples are cherry-picked and not significant on a bigger scale. Can everyone do what they have done, and why do they need the successful individuals that do follow the formal traditional education paths? So to sum up at the end of the day, this question is, do we want a society that values education for all, or one that praises the lucky few and leaves the rest behind? So for all these reasons and evidence above, we are very proud to propose